Yo, 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 what's going on out there, people? I'm your host, Ron C., and this is the You Won't Say It, I Will podcast. Of course, you know where you guys can find me at. You can find me pretty much all the DSPs, anywhere you get your podcast at, including where you listen to me at. Everywhere, just about, except Pandora, still. You can find me on social media, Instagram, YouTube. You Won't Say It, I Will. You can find me on Twitter, YWSIIW podcast. And you can find me on TikTok. I haven't been really posting like that on there, but find me on there anyway. You know what I mean? I might pop up a video here and there, you know what I mean, or something. I still ain't got used to the TikTok shit, but you can find me on there. You Won't Say It, I Will. But yeah, man, second episode back recording. This isn't my normal spot where I'm going to be doing it at, but it's all cool. I'm actually in my dining room right now, you know what I mean, a little zon, but but yeah, man, it's crazy finally getting the basement and stuff together, because we have our daughter's third birthday next month, and we're having it here at the house. So, you know, it's trying to get the house, for the most part, is good. You know what I mean? It's trying to get the basement. You know, we're gonna have a few people over, of course, and so we want the basement really together. You know, we haven't gotten the basement together. I honestly haven't been in a rush to do it. You know, we only been in the house since last June, I think. Then we moved in June or May or June. It's been close to a year. It's probably been about, 10 months. So, hey, look, we planning on being for a minute, so really no rush to do a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Basement, I can get it. Some people do. It's one of the first things they probably do. The basement's finished. It actually needs to be painted. It's kind of like two sides to it. And I think I might explain this too when we first moved. But the guy who was here last, I guess it's probably one big whole basement. And so it's a separate part. It's like the unfinished part where all the utility stuff like heater and shit is at. That's like blocked off, door and all that. Then you got the rest of the basement, which if that wall wasn't there, it actually would look pretty big, which is still a nice sized basement even with the wall there, but he kind of put like a wall separator there. So it's one side that's already painted for the most part. I gotta do like a little bit more gray, cause gray, and then put like the little separators up that goes along the edges around the top and the bottom. I gotta finish that off because he didn't finish it. And then the other side, all I gotta do is just paint, basically. So it's not a lot we have to do. For real, we could have really just already furnished it up and been down there, but nah, we never did that. Cause we knew we wanted to do something to the basement, our own shit. So don't need to put furniture down there. It's stuff in the way, stuff all around there, but at the same time, it's no need. The same way how I did when before we moved in. I'm like, before we put this furniture and shit here, if we're gonna paint, I need to paint this before we put furniture. I'm not trying to cover stuff up, and if you paint it before, the shit just in the way. You know what I mean? So I've been lucky enough that they have stuff in the way and furniture, move stuff around, cover shit up and everything. I'm an okay painter. I'm not bad, but I don't really make a mess. But at the same time, just my luck, I will make a mess if shit's around. Keep it all 100 done. I've been fortunate enough with the last room I painted. I'm sorry, at the last house. It was really nothing in there. It was like a spare bedroom, so it was like just couple boxes and shit like that in the way. So basically, how the basement is, some boxes, couple stuff there, here and there. I can move that stuff out the way with no problem. So I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to get in the mind frame, trying to stay in the mind frame to paint, cause that shit would be like all day event for my ass. I'm telling you. But yeah, man, painting's cool. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I finally would have my shit together, man, downstairs. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. Get to go downstairs. I already have the one side, my big ass TV. my little 65, 70 inch. I'm still leaning towards the 70, but you know, it depends on what the deal is at, you know, and the type of TV and this and that. So if it ended up being a 65, that's cool, or 70. I don't really want nothing bigger than 70. I don't want no smaller than 65. So it gotta be 65 or 70, basically, just like I fucking said. And that's about it. You know, one side's gonna be like the side I'm painting. It's gonna be like the chill side. It's not. The other side's gonna be like where my podcast is gonna be at. And it is just be like a low key hangout spot, kind of, sorta. It was gonna be kind of like a slash office, which it still can kind of be, but we actually gonna have that up here upstairs. So you know, it might be like office-ish, but not really. So, but either way, yeah, man, it's gonna be cool. Finally, basement will probably be, you know, put together. If not 100%, close to 100 at least. It'll be painted, furnished, and you know, I mean, even if it's still little knickknacks in the way or something. Like I said, it'll be good. But yeah, finally had this podcast. I had my setup. I don't have to move shit all around. I can keep my mics how they are. That's another thing I could do. Gotta get like a table or whatever. So you got any type of recommendation type of table I should have, let me know. Get a table, especially if I have somebody on with me. I can have the other mic set up already, chair and stuff. You know, a wife bought me a ring light, so I got lighting now, you know, on top of regular lighting. You know, I don't have to do too much with the camera now to help with the lighting, so that helps for sure. I can leave my camera stuff set up in the same place. I might move the camera though. I got crazy ass fucking going on 3-year-old. That shit is not gonna work. But nah, at least I have my setup for the most part. I don't have to worry about a lot of shit. So you know, setting up is like the biggest part when I do my podcast, especially if I'm just doing audio. It's not that hard. If I'm doing the you know, if I'm doing video, back to video like I'm doing now, shit's a fucking pain in the ass, man. Like seriously. This shit's seriously pain in the ass. But yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm getting a little bit excited. We got paint colors now, samples, a couple colors that we're going to choose. Got them right over there actually, and you know, roll them on there, see what they look like, and we're gonna probably pick between one of them two colors, I'm sure. And I'm gonna go there, go get a big ass thing of paint, and fucking going on the walls. Like I said, ain't gonna be nothing to paint the walls. Let it dry fast. Boom, put 2 coats on there. I might get the one that says you only do 1 coat. I probably am doing 2 anyway, knowing me. And then that'd be it. You know, and I can focus on the other side. A little bit of painting. I got to put the little wall edge things, divider things, whatever you want to call them, up. I've never done that before, so we'll see how that goes. But at least it shouldn't be that hard. I ain't got to do like, I don't have to get like a, you know, like a balancer or whatever, leveler or anything, because it's going up against the edge. Can't fuck that up. At least I don't think I can. But yeah, man, yeah. But yeah, man, it feels good to be back in front of this camera, man. It feels good to have, you know, gonna have a nice setup soon. If you watched the last episode, which I, you know, hopefully recommend you do. I was in Mexico last week, and you know, went away for our anniversary. Yeah. It was nice, man. It was nice. But yeah, check out the episode, man. You know, I explained it all on there, everything we did, how it was, what was going on, all that shit, man. Check it out. Episode 58. But yeah, other than that, man, everything's been kosher. You know, I've been doing too much. I know I've been a little like slack on the podcast and stuff. Look, if y'all don't know me by now, it is what it is. You know, but yeah, hopefully I can be a little bit more consistent now, actually, though. All seriousness, I'll be having a setup. I don't have to do anything. All I gotta do is go downstairs, probably just pop the camera on, the stand, boom, press record, and just, you know what I mean, get to going. Turn the light on, you know what I mean? I ain't gotta do no setting up. Sometimes that's a drag. That can be a drag too, especially if I'm doing, you know, recording. It can be a little bit drag. So that I'm like, I feel like doing that. I feel like doing this, you know. Plus, I'd be able to do it with With anybody home now, I can go downstairs. Usually I record 100% of the time when I'm home by myself. So I actually didn't. When I very first started, I actually didn't. When we was in our old house, in that spare bedroom I was just talking about, I actually did it when my wife was home. Well, she wasn't then, but she wasn't my wife then, but still. When she was home, so I would go upstairs and I would record. Then I did quite a few episodes actually up there while she was home. So, but that's what it is. I just want just me. I just want the mic. I just want the camera. And even back then I was recording. Actually, I was recording off the damn laptop. Yeah, I stopped doing that. That shit was whack. I don't know what the fuck made me do that. But look, I was learning. I'm still learning. The podcast is what it is. It's something I just like to do. It ain't nothing. It ain't fucking, Joe Rogan. It ain't fucking $1 million worth of game. You know what I'm saying? It's not I am athlete. It ain't none of that shit. I'm okay with that. It's You Won't Say That Will podcast. A motherfucker see it, motherfucker see it. If they don't, they don't. I'm alright with that. You know what I mean? It's all good. But one that I am happy about. That's another reason why too I wanted to start doing video again, because we got a new computer, and this time we got a desktop. So of course I've been doing everything off the laptop. I still do the audio and stuff with the laptop. It makes it a lot easier, but I transfer everything over, do it to do my editing and stuff on the desktop. Oh my god, it's so much smoother, better. I mean, it's fucking insane, man. Oh my god, it's crazy. I mean, the editing, like for the audio, didn't really bother me, but when I did the editing for the video, oh my god, sometimes they'll have a little lag or a little something. Man, I do on this desktop, man, it makes me want to fucking record all the goddamn time now. I'm just gonna go around this fucking recording with the camera all over the fucking place. Seriously. If I stayed with photography, and I still low-key might go back to doing it, I'd be doing it on this desktop, and it makes shit a lot better, smoother, and just, oh man, click, everything moves just fine, this and that. Oh my god. But I didn't know they have a fucking, basically like a 2-in-1 laptop. Like everything's all on the monitor now. Like I used to be really into computers. Like I knew a lot of shit, and I just kind of like went away with it, this and that, and had my little down slump before I became a truck driver, and I was just like, fuck, I want to do. I'm going back to school. I want to do this, I want to go in for computers. I really want to do that, this and that. I don't know what route in computers I want to do. So I was ended up becoming a truck driver. I never really stayed in tune with computers like that. I was like, whatever I knew. But honestly, they update shit all the time with technology. So, never really kept up with it. But yeah, I didn't know they had fucking just it's just a monitor. That's all it is. And it's like, it's not heavy at all. Anybody, I don't give a fuck how weak you are, should be able to hold it and pick it up and carry it. And it's like, I won't use it as a laptop, but you can seriously just take it with you, go over your people's house, boom, plug that joint in, and hook up to their Wi-Fi or something, and start using that shit there. It's crazy. Take the keyboard with you, Bluetooth keyboard. Of course, the mouse. My mouse has always been for a long time wireless, but thanks to keyboards, I did know that, but. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I'm looking like, damn, the monitor costs this much money? What the fuck the monitor? Okay, it's touchscreen, but I'm like, wait, it's doing stuff. Like, where the fuck is the modem at? Like, I'm looking around like, where the drone at? I don't see nothing. Yo, the motherfucker, like, it's all connected. Like, it's crazy. It's still fucking blowing my mind right now. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, so we got a desktop. And yeah, man, we love it, man. We love it. I just go on there, just fucking go on there, just cut. It's cause it's just so smooth and so cool, man. It's definitely cool to have though. It's always cool to have a desktop. Always been into desktops. Like laptop is cool and it's definitely convenient. Get you where you need to go and this and that. But it's always cool to have a desktop. We've been here the printer, so that's cool. So we good. She about to go back to go get her master's. So that's another reason why we got it too. The main reason why we got it. And then I'm like, shit, we getting this. And once I realized how it was, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go back to recording on in front of this camera now, because it'll make life a lot fucking easier. Shit, but oh man, yeah, guys, but yeah, that's me. That's my life. So before I made this podcast, recorded this, I was about to originally record, and got my line up on, what I'm gonna holler at y'all about, and one of the things, the new Chris Rock special. So if you haven't seen the new Chris Rock special on Netflix, it depends. If you're a fan of, take away all the controversy shit, okay? It doesn't matter. I don't really care. How did you, before all this shit that went down last year at the Oscars, what I'm talking about, 5 fingers to the face, we know, okay? Take away all that. However you felt about Chris Rock before then that should allure you to watching it or not watching it. You know what I mean? You wasn't really a big Chris Rock fan and really fuck with his specials. All right, then, well, then it probably shouldn't be nothing different. Unless the controversy is like, nah, fuck, I'm gonna watch it just cause. Man, I'm sure he got the numbers. It's like he was on tour. That motherfucker made some money. And look, and he did it prior. He ain't had to promote nothing or do anything or say anything. It just happens. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. If you was a Chris Rock fan, then watch it now. I wouldn't see why people are not a fan. If anything, they are a fan, or it stayed the same or how they was. And for me, it stayed the same on what happened, last year. So, it took me a long time to like Chris Rock. It took me, I don't know, I was never really a big fan. Like his stand-up, like he's cool. Maybe it was his delivery. Maybe it wasn't his voice. Like I liked him in movies, but it came to stand-ups, like he funny, but he cool. I don't know. But I watched one of his stand-ups a long time ago. I can't remember which one it was, and I was like, all right, this motherfucker a little funny. You say some shit like this, motherfucker, like, bitch, it's Chris Rock. What you mean? All right, he a little bit funny. Bitch, it's Chris Rock. But I don't know. I was never really a fan. I was just the stuff he would talk about. And like I said, I think maybe it was his delivery, and that's why I said if you wasn't a fan, I guess keep that same energy. Unless you curious now because of all the shit last year. If you was a fan, I say go ahead and watch it. It was a good stand-up, actually. It was a good stand-up. I applaud it, man. I seriously. That shit was alright, Now, I'll get to all the controversy shit. He did touch on that. If you guys haven't been seeing, like, the clips and everything from off of Instagram and everything, I'm sure you've seen some of that. And like I said, I'll touch on that shit and everything. But other than that, he talked about a lot of shit. He talked about trans shit. He talked about, like his family. He talked about his daughters. He even touched his ex-wife. He talked about his mom a little bit, but not in a bad way. What else he talked about? He just talked about him in general. He talked about his brothers. Talked about his dad. He talked about the this racism in general. He combined that kind of like all together a little bit. So, I'm not going to go down and stuff with jokes and stuff like that. But, yeah, he touched on a lot of stuff. Talked about OJ, but that was kind of like in the realm. He talked about the Kardashians, too. That was all in the realm of the racism type stuff that's, going on in America. And he kind of blended that in with it, as comedians do. He's one of the few. I want to say one of the few. Yeah, one of the few. I guess most comedians, if you're a really good comedian, you're a storyteller. But I want to say he's one of the few, I would say, that's kind of like a storyteller, but at the same time, he got realness with real life, plus with story. He combined, it's weird. Like I said, that's why I think it took me a while to really appreciate him. I think it took me to get older. I don't think he's a young person's comedian. A young person's comedian is somebody for like Kevin Hart is a young person's comedian, and adults too. But like I don't think he's out here trying to connect the kids or, like teens or anything like that. Like that's for like probably Kevin Hart, he's the more popular one. You might get like Mike Epps, something like that. But like somebody like Chris Rock, even maybe in like Steve Harvey, possibly even D.L. Hughley, you're not gonna get them guys. You're not gonna get like a Joe Rogan. He ain't for He not for the teens. You're not gonna get like Bill Burr. That's the most rawest ass motherfucker. You want to hear some disrespectful shit? It's funny, but that shit disrespectful AF. The shit he be talking about, Bill Burr. That shit is not. He just ain't just for anybody under 18. Hell, he might be borderline for nobody under 21. I'm telling you, like the shit's fucking crazy. That motherfucker, he's a raw ass dude. I'm telling you. Like Eddie Murphy, shit like that, old school motherfucker, they ain't for, But so I think that's why it took me a while to really appreciate. Once I really got older and stuff and matured, I guess in general, not just in age, but like mentally or whatever. I think that's when I started liking him. So yeah, it was a good special. So yes, he did touch on. he did touch on the shit from last year. At the Oscars, so you haven't been seeing clips, I just shortened it up a little bit. They called Jada a bitch. He talked about how he wasn't attacking her. She kind of like started it, and it just stayed a thing. And he wasn't coming at her per se, attacking this and that. And when I heard the joke last year. Again, I guess it's however you portray it. I mean, he's a comedian. I mean, what do you expect? He's gonna be comedian first. That's why they hired him. That's why they put him on the show. I wouldn't say hired. I don't think the motherfuckers get paid. But I mean, that's why they put him as a host. You know what I mean? The Jimmy Kimmel's a comedian now. Look, everybody's different type of comedians, but he's still a comedian. Jimmy Kimmel still can say he can be a little disrespectful. Don't get it fucked up. He a little sleep. His delivery is different. It make you sit there and be like, and think like, damn, I'm already saying. Hold on a second. You know what I mean? Versus Chris Rock, it's like you just know you gotta be stupid as shit not to understand. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't think And look, going back, I talked about it last year. I get why he did it. I wouldn't have done it if I was Will. I would have found a different time and place to do it. Could have still been the same night, just not right then and there. I get it, but I don't know. But either way, yeah, he talked about it. He called him Suge, called him Suge Smith and shit like that. He made little references throughout the special. And like I said, you gotta watch it. You know what I'm talking about. Little references and stuff like that. He would say like a little line, and it's like it's directed at Will, but obviously he doesn't say Will's name in it or Jada's or anything. But yeah, like I said, he touched on it. He actually talked about it this time. And I remember when he did the special, I heard that he actually was going to talk about it. I forgot all about the special until it came out. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he about to start talking about it. That's when I seen shit all over Instagram. So I already saw probably, and I'm sure you have too, seen all the fucking clips from just that part. He has a whole honestly, he didn't talk about that to the end, and it literally was maybe 10 minutes out of everything he talked about with that. And that's a big maybe. That's heavy on the ish. Other than that, like I said, he had a whole comedy special. If this never happened last year, then that last 10-ish minutes would have been probably something else. You get what I'm saying? Like, he still had a whole special. And, besides that, it was good. I mean, it still was good with that. But, I mean, it was a good-ass special. I would look at it. It was funny. I laughed. It's, again, it's Chris Rock. So, if you know how he is, a couple things made you like, oh, shit, motherfucker, you about to get canceled. Well, Chris Rock, one of the motherfuckers I don't think can get canceled. And if he does, I don't really think he gives a fuck. But how can you cancel a motherfucker that it's never switched up? He's, because what he's talking about doesn't, that he, yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna move on to the show, The Last of Us, man. I don't know if you guys been looking at it. So it's funny. So when I first seen like the previews and stuff, I didn't know when it was coming out. I kept seeing like The Last of Us. Like, this shit sounds so fucking familiar. I'm like, where the fuck do I know this? Where the fuck do I know this name